Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Half Off Fridays. Save big from local businesses across the state. Click the Half Off Fridays button at wvmetronews.com.
Hey, welcome in. Plan for a partly sunny to sunny day. Northwest breeze and some drier air working in with our high pressure now. It's a fire and ice weather pattern per se. We are included in a near elevated fire danger, so respect that potential today. And then back to a frost and freeze highlights tonight. Some more frost advisories and freeze warnings for our next night here. So continue to protect those 3 Ps, pets, pipes, and plants out there before you fall asleep tonight. Your Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Spots like Tampa, 86 today and 86 tomorrow with a fire weather watch there for Tampa on Tuesday. Southeastern Florida, watch for potentially some thunderstorms today and tonight there with a cold front. Other spots like New York City, cool 54, Chicago 45, Atlanta 75 before warming back up to 83 midweek. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs upper 40s to low 50s with some increasing sunshine. That's it. And some of the high elevations of the state may have had some light wintry mix or snow showers early this morning. That has since fizzled out. It'll be dry, clear, weaker winds tonight and back to near frosty and freezing temps in the upper 20s to low 30s overnight. In eastern areas of the state, dry for the rest of the day. Highs upper 40s to low 50s. Overnight tonight, frost and freeze concerns again to be mindful of. Lows in the mid-20s to near 30. In central to northern areas of the states, we got 40s and 50s on the board. Cooler than average, dry, sunny, near elevated fire danger. And then frost and freeze concerns overnight. A lot of lows in the 20s in there. Southern areas of the state may get a spot or two near 60, but that'll be about as warm as we get today. And lows near 30, give or take, overnight tonight. In Charleston, chance of a rain shower and thunderstorm on Wednesday. 86 Friday. Next warm and cold front combo. End of the week and the weekend. All time some chances of showers and storms.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that he didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
Welcome in to the 2 o'clock hour, the final hour. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen in the host chair, Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour, 1-800-765-TALK, or text 304-TALK, 304. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
It is a cool Monday afternoon across the great state of West Virginia. Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. If you're somebody that has a green thumb, you might want to, or maybe you think you have a green thumb, you might want to cover those plants tonight. Meteorologist Brian Hughes tells me that we have got a little frost coming to some areas. Actually, we're reporting some snow. Places like Richwood, I think, and on up into the mountains. But, we're going to return to the spring and summer weather here just before you know it. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Doing something a little different on this Monday. Normally we have the Mayor Monday segment. That will return in the coming weeks. But we're going to introduce you to the folks at First Choice Services. Sheila Moran is the Director of Marketing Communications for the organization. And Jojo Ciliento is the Crisis Counselor with First Choices, and they both join us. Sheila, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and Jojo, welcome to you as well.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing fine. Tell us about, we'll start with you, Sheila. Give us the overall on what First Choice Services is.
Sure. So First Choice Services is a nonprofit group here in Charleston. We're located over Hillcrest, up past the Y on the hill, and we have over 200 people who work there day and night that operate several programs and crisis lines. So some of them you've probably heard of, the 988 suicide line, the 1-800-GAMBLER line, the Help for WV addiction line, the West Virginia Navigator health insurance line, and several more.
So they're all part of that big umbrella, is what you're saying, right? I guess.
They are. So over 200 employees, and they're spread throughout all those
Okay.
programs.
So if you need help, that's the place to go for just about anything, right?
Whatever the problem, we have a helpline for it.
That's great. Jojo, you are a crisis counselor with First Choice Services. Now, first of all, we were kind of joking off the air. Sheila is a Charlestonian, but you ain't from here.
No, not.
But got here as quickly as you could, as they
Yes.
say, right? So tell us your story. Where are you from, and how did you end up here?
I am from Brooklyn, New York, and I came out here in 2015 after being, I was a year and 8 days sober, so from alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend, I was going to move to Philly, and my friend, he's from Hurricane. We met in Brooklyn, and he said, before you go to Philly, why don't you come home with me, take a break from real estate, and when you're ready to, go to Philly, you go to Philly. And when I came here to visit his family, I was offered a job in real estate, and I felt like that was my higher power. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna stay in West Virginia.
I'm always Jojo and Sheila. I'm always fascinated when I hear these stories of people that aren't from West Virginia, and something led them here. Like you said, it was your higher power you feel that led you here, but choose to make it. Choose to make a life here. What somebody would, you had a friend from here, but other than that, no ties to the area.
Yeah.
But you just chose it. What was it about West Virginia that made you say, "This is where I need to be"?
It felt like home. It felt like a smaller Brooklyn. My friend
I've never heard that before.
Well, okay,
that's a new one.
It's interesting because I came down in December of 2014, and it was snowing, and it was by Taylor Books. And he says, I think that you will either like Charleston or Huntington. Huntington is more of a college town.
Yeah.
And I just really fell in love with the East End. And I was out in Hurricane, and I liked it, but it didn't feel like a city to me.
I get it. No, I get it 100%. That's where I live, and I get it. It's not necessarily. You said it was kind of like Brooklyn, is what you kind of thought about the East End of Charlotte. A small Brooklyn, very small Brooklyn.
Yes.
But I could see where you probably wouldn't get that vibe in the Taze Valley area in Putnam County. I completely understand that. Talk about as much as you're comfortable with. Talk about your story of addiction.
Well, I didn't really know that I had a problem.
Have you skipped the microphone a little bit there?
I didn't really know I had a problem till it was already out of control. I thought I had a hold over it, and I had lost my mother in 2012 to cancer, and I don't know what made me really stop, but it came to a point where enough was enough, and I started going to meetings. And the good thing was I made my own schedule, so I went to as many AA meetings as I could. And, they say illness begins with I and wellness begins with we. Cannot do it on our own. So I had to let go and let God kind of thing, and whatever that God is to you. And I still have the same sponsor. She's in Brooklyn, and she holds me accountable, and that's what's really important.
Even so many miles away.
Yes. Oh, she is. She holds me accountable, like really seriously hardcore, and that's the best when somebody is calling you out on what you're doing. So even when I get phone calls of people in addiction, I disclose to them that I'm in recovery, and it makes them a lot more comfortable to talk to me about what they're going through.
I mean, I could 100% understand that because, with all due respect to people that have never been there, they've never been there, and they don't understand. There are things I think that you would bring to what you do that somebody who learned it from, with all due respect, with somebody that just learned it from a book can't understand, because somebody's on the other end of that line and they say, well, you don't understand. Here's Jojo going, yeah, I do.
Right. And there are things that I don't, but it's having somebody that can listen and have that compassion, because there can be people, and when I was still in active addiction, I mean, love my family, but sometimes I really didn't like them because they weren't very compassionate. They were very judgmental.
You can love people and not like them.
Right.
I mean, that's highly possible in a variety of relationships.
Right. So they would be there to a certain extent and then being very judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have people, even if they don't know what it's like, they'll be there to listen. And that's who's there at 988. And they're there to listen and to support. And that's what's very important, no matter what somebody's going through when they reach out.
Talk about, I mean, and obviously we want to respect confidentiality, but give us an example of a phone call that you would take, an example, one or two, or maybe one since you've been doing this that would stick out in your mind.
Well, it's really hard to give something that sticks out, but I'll tell you, anytime I get a call from somebody that, like a child, a call, a chat, or a text, those are what stick out in my mind, because it's very heartbreaking when they feel like they cannot reach out to anybody and they feel really lost.
Now, when you say you get a call from a child, does that mean that it was the child that had the issue, or was they calling on behalf of mom and dad? Or
no, usually if they're calling out about themselves,
okay,
and they are either having thoughts of suicide or self-harm, things like that. Anytime, I have compassion for a lot of people, and empathy, but when it's a child, and they feel that lost and they feel like they don't have anybody.
Yeah, and no one that's going to understand, so they're choosing, which, God bless them for doing that, but they're choosing to reach out to, I hate to say a stranger, that's not the word I'm looking for, but somebody that they don't have a relationship with because they feel like they can't go to mom, dad, brother, sister, or whatever.
Right, and it's very, I'm very proud that they feel that they can reach out, because anytime struggling as a child, a teenager, it's very hard to do that. When I was growing up, like, you were told to shut up and sit down and hold in those emotions. You were allowed to be angry, but don't cry,
right,
kind of thing. And so I am proud of them for reaching out and opening up, but it breaks my heart when it is a child or a teenager going through something like that.
Sheila, let's talk about some of the other services you mentioned. I mean, there's over 200 people that are employed here, a variety of different things. And we're talking with Jojo here about the issue with what she handles there. But talk about some of the other services that are in that building.
Sure. So we have the Help for WV line, which is for anyone experiencing addiction or mental health issues. And that's, this is, by the way, Alcohol Awareness Month. And I should mention, many people are surprised to hear that alcohol is like number 2 on the list of things people call us about. Everybody talks about the opioid epidemic, but alcohol is very, very common, 28% of our calls. We can usually get people into treatment the next day, the same day, actually. So that's a wonderful line. We have the Children's Crisis Line. That's for anybody who's concerned about their child having a crisis. We can actually help get them in with someone immediately, a mobile crisis team, or we can arrange long-term assistance for them, like someone to go in the home and help the child. We have the 1-800-GAMBLER line, which is, of course, for people who are addicted to gambling, and I have been saying for a long time there is a tsunami of youth gambling addiction coming. That could be a whole other interview. Our calls have tripled on that line.
That is interesting. If I could jump in here 1 second, that is interesting that you would say that, because I read an article not long ago. And when we think of problem gamblers, I mean, we all get this image in our head, much like with people with alcohol. We all have these preconceived notions. But I know this from what I just read, Sheila, that the number one, the demo, as we say in the advertising business, the demo of people that are problem gamblers now is not the 40 to 50 year old guy anymore. Not saying that they don't have an issue as well, but it's young people. It's young people because it's so easy now.
Yeah, our demo used to be, I would say, middle-aged women. They were all playing the video poker machines, the Mimi's, Paula's, or those type of places, and that's dramatically changed in the last few years. It is young males who are calling us overwhelmingly, playing on their phones. Yeah,
and it's become, as I said, so available because of the sports betting. And look, if you can do it and not be addicted to it, that's great. But a lot of people actually do have a problem. You have a hiring event coming up. Is that right? You're looking for people.
We do. We are hiring people. So we are having an event at our Hillcrest office. That's 1 Hillcrest Drive up past the Y. That's April 29th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we are inviting anyone who's thinking about a career change to come talk to us. We are a second chance employer. I should mention that. So if you have, addiction in your history or, even an arrest history and you may be thinking you can't get a professional job, that's not necessarily the case. We give everybody a fair chance who applies to us. These are $15 to $20 an hour jobs, and no degree is required. Some people hear crisis counselor and think they need a degree in psychology, but in fact, we do all the training in-house, and so you do not have to have a degree. We have retirement plans, health insurance, vacation pay. It is a wonderful environment to work in, as Jojo can attest to, so we invite folks to come out and apply.
And I just wonder, as those people that are working for you, Sheila, much like with Jojo's story about being, a recovering addict, do you have recovering gambling addicts that are there? Do you have a Jojo in the other fields?
We do have yes. We have people that are in recovery from all kinds of things, from gambling addiction to substance use disorder to even mental health issues, and so we have all of that. It's a very, very diverse environment with a lot of lived experiences.
I mean, and those, as I said, I keep going back to Jojo. I keep going back to your story. I mean, first of all, you're very courageous for going forward and not only telling your story, but also wanting to help other people that are struggling because you've been there. And so I think you're to be commended, for wanting to help other people because you know what it's like.
Thank you.
All right. The hiring event, again, is to give us the information again. We'll make sure everybody gets it.
That is April 29th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 1 Hillcrest Drive. And you can go to our website, firstchoiceservices.org, and it has all of that information.
And that's right here in Charleston. Of course, this show is statewide, so we want to make sure that people that are listening to us in Morgantown, Beckley, wherever, Clarksburg, wherever you may be listening to us today, that you make it a point to come down here.
I should say these are in-person jobs, so
okay.
no remote.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I completely understand that, but I mean, with technology, who knows? Maybe we'll get there someday. But these are definitely all in-person jobs for right now. And if you're looking to do something to help people, that's Mr. Rogers used to say. Look for the helpers, and you folks are certainly the helpers. So we appreciate what you're doing for the various type. Things, all the things that fall under your purview there at First Choice Services. Sheila Moran, the Director of Marketing Communications, and Jojo Ciliento, the Crisis Counselor. We appreciate both of you for being here. Thanks a lot. Very eye-opening stuff.
Thank you so much.
It is 2:21. Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Your calls and text, 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number you can text, 304-TALK-304. We'll take a break and come back after this. Stay with us.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Patients who have allergies and sinusitis, they have worse quality of life on many levels. At the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center, we provide all the most recent technology in office procedures to help patients who cannot breathe through their nose. Patients come in, within half an hour they can leave. Whatever problem with the sinus and allergy you're having, we can help you get the right treatment.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that he didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true. So
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Ventures.
Welcome back to the show, 225. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Ryan Nicholson, Stephanie Pauly, our producers today. If you got a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia, knows someone that does, the opportunity for that child to get a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan, room, board, tuition, and fees, all included. 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and by the West Virginia Farm Bureau. Deadline is May 3rd. Full details available, WVMetroNews.com, WVMetroNews.com. Go to the website, which you should be doing every day anyway. Click on the Apply Now button, but the deadline is May 3rd. 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and by the West Virginia Farm Bureau, but the deadline is May 3rd. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour, 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. There was a story that broke online out of my native land down in Logan County. Yesterday morning, I got up and I just happened to see it. And I've been trying to learn more information about it. I talked with some folks from the radio station down there, a fine affiliate in Logan, a place that I called home for 20 years, WVAW. Talked to Aaron Stone down there about that earlier today, and also trying to get some information I talked to the folks in the Logan County Magistrate Court about this. There was, I don't mean to laugh about it, but I'm just going on eyewitness accounts. But there was a situation that occurred at a middle school dance on Saturday night. I'm presuming by the time of the year, I don't have kids, so I don't know. I'm presuming it was like a spring formal or something like that. And apparently a big fight broke out. And it was there were parents involved and there were kids involved as well. And from what I am told, again, based on online information and some investigating that I did, there was a fight that broke out, and it later spilled over into the Wendy's parking lot, which, if you're familiar with where Logan Middle School is on Middleburg Island in Logan, one of the entrances, there is a Wendy's location there. It's been there, but back when I was a kid, it was a Burger Chef. That's how old I am. But it's been a Wendy's since sometime in the, I guess, early 1980s or so. And so this big, I guess, melee broke out at the middle school dance. Parents, kids involved, whatever. And they were able, some of the chaperones, I guess, were basically, from what I'm told, and if any of this information is incorrect, I will correct at some point, were able to basically say, okay, you got to go. And the argument then led over to the local Wendy's. Now, I can report, I talked to folks in the Logan County Magistrate's office in the courthouse earlier today. No charges were filed, not at least as of about 10 or 10:30 this morning when I made the phone call down there. So we're keeping a close eye on that. The only thing, though, that I could take from this whole thing is, and I love my hometown. I haven't lived there in 12 years, okay? I love my hometown, don't get me wrong, but I had to just stop and think. That is based on the stereotype about the most Logan County thing I can think of. When a fight breaks out at the middle school. Remember Jeff Foxworthy did the classic routine, you might be a redneck. And I'm not casting shade on my hometown or anything like that. I'm one of you, so I'm allowed to say that. I just thought, so we got a big fight at the middle school, and apparently parents and kids were involved. And I don't know whether there's any repercussions from that or whatever, but apparently it spilled over to the Wendy's. They're in Logan. I don't mean to laugh about it, but I guess you can when apparently no one was seriously hurt. And from what I gathered in talking to the folks at the courthouse this morning, there were no charges filed, not at least as I said, as of 10 or 10:30 this morning. That could change. But when you pick up your phone first thing on Sunday morning, you're scrolling social media, and one of the first things you find is fight at the middle school dance, and it's your hometown. You can't help but just kind of scratch your head and wonder where we are as a society. I don't know who was right. I don't know who was wrong. I don't know who was fighting or whatever. But I just thought, man, this is some Logan County stuff right here. And I say that with all due respect and love for the place I grew up and worked and lived for so many years. We'll get into Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Telephone number 1-800-765-TALK if you want to weigh in on anything on your mind, or you can text 304-TALK-304. Again, 304-TALK-304 is the text line. The phone number 1-800-765-TALK, 1-800-765-8255. It's Metro News Midday. We're coming back. And now we'll go to the Metro News.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it. So I got to find a new plan.
Oh, you did not.
Oh, I did. Told you I was a little grumpy today.
Oh, man, you got some zingers today, Dave. I love it.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Half Off Fridays. Save big from local businesses across the state. Click the Half Off Fridays button at WVMetroNews.com.
Hey, welcome in. Plan for a partly sunny to sunny day. Northwest breeze and some drier air working in with our high pressure now. It's a fire and ice weather pattern per se. We are included in a near elevated fire danger, so respect that potential today. And then back to a frost and freeze highlights tonight. Some more frost advisories and freeze warnings for our next night here. So continue to protect those 3 Ps, pets, pipes, and plants out there before you fall asleep tonight. Your Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Spots like Tampa, 86 today and 86 tomorrow with a fire weather watch there for Tampa on Tuesday. Southeastern Florida, watch for potentially some thunderstorms today and tonight there with a cold front. Other spots like New York City, cool 54, Chicago 45, Atlanta 75 before warming back up to 83 midweek. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs upper 40s to low 50s with some increasing sunshine. That's it. And some of the high elevations of the state may have had some light wintry mix or snow showers early this morning. That has since fizzled out. It'll be dry, clear, weaker winds tonight and back to near frosty and freezing temps in the upper 20s to low 30s overnight. In eastern areas of the state, dry for the rest of the day. Highs upper 40s to low 50s. Overnight tonight, frost and freeze concerns again to be mindful of. Lows in the mid-20s to near 30. In central to northern areas of the states, we got 40s and 50s on the board. Cooler than average, dry, sunny, near elevated fire danger. And then frost and freeze concerns overnight. A lot of lows in the 20s in there. Southern areas of the state may get a spot or two near 60, but that'll be about as warm as we get today. And lows near 30, give or take, overnight tonight. In Charleston, chance of a rain shower and thunderstorm on Wednesday. 86 Friday. Next warm and cold front combo, end of the week and the weekend. All time some chances of showers and storms.
With Metro News Hotline, if it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have 2 vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
On the next State of Minds, When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
Join us at peacecorps.gov.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 minutes away from 3 o'clock on a Monday afternoon. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit SalangoLaw.com. Dave Allen in the host chair, Ryan Nichols and Stephanie Pauly, our producers today. Open line, West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. We'll get to your text stuff in just a minute. I got to throw something out here, too. It's not related to a middle school fight, I promise. So I guess I just have a question for you, the listeners, okay? At what point can you start eating your neighbor's food? Okay, now hear me out on this. Friday, we get a call from one of our neighbors. Great, big shout out. We call him Neighbor Bill. Neighbor Bill and his wife, Jeannie, or no, sorry, not his wife, his mom, live across the street from us. And their refrigerator went out. Oddly enough, because we don't make products like we used to, it was a 4-year-old refrigerator. And a couple of weeks after the warranty expired, the refrigerator just crapped out. So they were kind of debating whether to get it fixed or, these days we don't get things fixed anymore. We just replace them because that's just the way we do things now. And so he was kind of debating it. So he called my wife and I, and he said, we have a refrigerator in our garage. Can we put some things in your garage? And I said, oh, absolutely. Bring it on over. And I wasn't home at the time. My wife was. So she welcomed Neighbor Bill in, and he put not like he took up the whole refrigerator, but just, eggs, some lunch meat and things of that nature. And so I talked to him over the weekend, and I said, so how's it going? And he said, well, we've ordered a new refrigerator, but they can't deliver it till Thursday. So we've got some things that we have to have, in coolers and so on and so forth, but we're going to have to leave some things in your refrigerator over there through Thursday if it's okay. I said, yeah, absolutely. It's not a problem. But then I started thinking, if it's in my refrigerator, I should be able to eat it, right? I mean, I'm not talking about like eating an entire dozen eggs, but I'm thinking we got some pretty good looking lunch meat and cheese out there. And, yesterday I got off work at our sister station here, 98.7 The Mountain, where I work on Sundays, and I was a little bit hungry, and dinner wasn't quite ready yet. And I was thinking, is it okay if I help myself to the lunch meat, the cheese, and stuff in the refrigerator? I should be able to do that, right? Like as a fee. I would never think of charging Neighbor Bill to use the area of our refrigerator, but just thinking, it's in my refrigerator. I thought better of it. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Let's get to your text. Text says, Sheila Moore Capito isn't doing anything but enabling the Washington, D.C. money spending machines. She's a rubber stamp for spending money and cutting revenue. The government needs to function. Text says, just when I think this administration can't get more embarrassing on the world stage, Iran again makes Trump look stupid. God help us, says the texter. Going back to the Kanawha County Schools cuts, we talked about that during hour one. Text says, as a custodian with Kanawha County Schools, more work for less money is what they're asking for the custodians who made it past the cuts. Text, tomorrow is the deadline to change your voter registration if you want to vote in the May election. Remember, independents, the Republican Party didn't want us, so I will be voting Democrat, says the texter. Text says, I would like to see voting data for school employees. I know custodians voted mainly Republicans, so really they voted for this quagmire, says a texter. Going back to the Kanawha County school situation. Does ABC, says a texter, make you all report on the Coachella Music Festival? Because who in West Virginia cares about a California trust fund kid liberal music festival? Tickets to that festival cost more than most West Virginians make in a month. I was unaware West Virginians cared about the goings-on of the trust fund, entertainment industry, nepotism culture. Well, if ABC is reporting on it, then that's ABC reporting on it. So that's not necessarily us. Texas Governor Morrissey needs to stay out of primary elections, period, says the text. Text says, on that situation at the middle school, tell someone to post the cell phone video. Oh, I'm sure it's out there somewhere. Somebody's posted it. And I think one of the things I thought when I first heard this story, and you know how it is on social media, things get blown up. Maybe it wasn't that big a deal. As I said, as of 10:30 this morning, no charges has been filed. I think one of the things that I wondered about, as again, speaking as a non-parent here, I'm thinking, why were their parents there to begin with? I mean, when I did not go to middle school because I'm old. We went to junior high. We didn't have parents there. We had chaperones that were teachers. No parent would have been at the school to begin with. I don't know. Maybe it's just different time. I mean, we would have been horrified if there would have been parents there. I mean, when we had dances and school functions, you wanted your mom and dad to let you out as far away from me. It's half a mile away. I'll walk. You didn't want people to know you had parents. And that's where this whole thing of people taking their kids to school and school drop-off lines. I mean, this is such a totally foreign concept to me because growing up in the 70s, we didn't have anybody. We didn't want our parents taking us anywhere. My God, we'd have been mortified to be seen getting out of your parents' car. I get nauseous thinking about it. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text says, the sports tourism is so great for local economies and Shawnee Park is doing great. Then what happened to Dunbar? I like Dunbar, but it doesn't seem like the town is reaping benefits of sports tourism. Text says, so the West Virginia Republican Party sent a flyer which stated that if you are not a registered Republican, you can't vote in the primary election. It is an admission that the Republican Party's policies are so bad they need to suppress the voter turnout to win. Only fascist Nazis vote Republican, in my opinion. Text said, my weekly text in about the horrible road conditions in Putnam County between Poca and Eleanor. It's ridiculous for a county that has that much going for it that we can't get decent roads. Text, data centers pollute the environment. Say no to data centers. Okay. Text, hey guys, I'm a poll worker, and I wanted to straighten something out. In our training, it was made abundantly clear to us that everyone can vote. If an independent wants to come in and vote, they will be told their vote is provisional because they are not registered as a Republican. However, they can vote in any party ballot. We will not tell them that their vote doesn't count or that they cannot vote. Delegate Young was incorrect about that. Also, whether you agree with the Republicans closing their primary or not, it's been reported that 3,500 plus independents have switched their registration. We got that text earlier in the show, and so, I mean, you know, we get texts throughout the show. So during one of the breaks, I put a call in to the Secretary of State's office, talked to someone there, and I asked, because to me that number seemed to be a little bit high, 3,500 plus. It seemed to be a little bit high to me. So I put a very informal call in to the Secretary of State's office and talked to someone there who said that number may very well be right, but a lot of those people also switched Democrat, not just Republican. It is 18 minutes away from 3. Let's go to the phones and let's talk to Anita. You're on the line. Go ahead. What's up?
Hi.
Hi.
Yes. About the food, he's your friend, and he's trusting you to watch over his food, keep it cold and everything, and you're doing him a great favor. But that favor does not entitle you to help yourself to his food. Just because it's in your refrigerator doesn't make it your food. But I think you should ask, and I'm quite sure in asking that he would gladly say, maybe help yourself, or sure, make you a sandwich or whatever, but probably might start discord if you just help yourself to his food. You won't be friends.
I know, and I said that kind of tongue in cheek. I hope that you realize that. I mean, we have a great relationship with all of our neighbors. I like to say things to get a reaction out of people sometimes. I did not mean I would never knowingly think of eating his food. But I just like
I'm one of those shock effect people too. I just do and say things just for the shock effect.
All right.
I got it.
All right, Anita. Where are you calling from today, Anita? Where are you?
I'm from Dunbar, West Virginia.
All right.
Yep.
All right, Anita. I appreciate you calling. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You as well. 2:43. We'll take a break and come back after this.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to wvmetronews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to wvmetronews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Looking to advance your career without putting life on hold? Earn your MBA from Glenville State University in as little as 18 months. Choose from in-demand concentrations like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and healthcare administration. Whether you're leading teams, analyzing data, or protecting digital systems, our programs are designed for working professionals who want flexibility and results. Take the next step with an MBA from Glenville State University. Learn more and apply today at glenville.edu.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Patients who have allergies and sinusitis, they have worse quality of life on many levels. At the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center, we provide all the most recent technology in office procedures to help patients who cannot breathe through their nose. Patients come in, within half an hour they can leave. Whatever problem with the sinus and allergy you're having, we can help you get the right treatment.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it, so I got to find a new plan.
Oh, you did not.
Oh, I did. Told you I was a little grumpy today.
Oh, man, you got some zingers today, Dave. I love it.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talkline. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Justice.org.
Twelve away from 3 o'clock on a Monday afternoon. Metro News Midday, powered by Ciliento Law. Visit CilientoLaw.com. It's open line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK, 304. Text is David Amanda. I am a registered independent, and I received this text message this morning from the Republican Party asking me to switch over. Yeah, I got the same text because I'm also a registered independent. I don't know if it was this morning, but I got it at some point. And look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a party, Republican or Democrat, reaching out to registered independent voters and asking them to switch. I mean, nothing that's smart on their part. I think, though, where the question lies is if indeed it were to be taken by somebody from the flyer that went out that incorrectly said if you're an independent you would not be allowed to vote. And I think it's very important what one of the texters pointed out earlier. And again, got a little background in this, having worked in the Secretary of State's office. You cannot turn anybody away from voting at all. Zero zilch. They have to be allowed to vote. Now, whether it's counted or not, you vote a provisional, but you show up and you say, I want to vote, and you have to be allowed to vote. Whether you have an identification card, whether you have voter, you have to be allowed to vote. Now, it is provisional, which means it gets counted later, but just so, not by any stretch of the imagination telling people you should do that. I'm just saying you cannot, under the law, tell anybody that they can't vote. Text says, I think some independent voters will keep their independence while voting for Democrats that can be beaten in the fall. My wife is one, says a texter. Text says, ask Dave Weekly. DoorDash delivered food he didn't order. No one claimed it, and DoorDash didn't want it back. Well, all right then. Text said, so you had a West Virginia caller complaining about nepotism. He should call our U.S. Senator and complain to her. Text says, looks like Jim Justice finally met his match. Pay your bills and get rid of the Greenbrier, Senator. Text said, I'm excited about the upcoming Mountaineer football season. I think we're going to surprise some people. Well, we certainly hope so. Text said, all these people whining about Trump. I'm not always crazy about the things he does either, but it beats having Sleepy Joe or Kamala in there. Text says, remember, independents, you chose to reject Dem and Republicans. You participated already. Text, heard on the radio, today is the first day of turkey season. The biggest turkey of all is in the White House. Says the texter. Text says, people who suffer from Trump derangement syndrome are purely sick. Leave the man alone. Let him do his job. Text, Republicans eating each other alive, and I'm loving every minute of it. Text said, I DoorDash, buy a light bulb. Okay. Text says, thanks for allowing candidates to come on the air with you guys. Lets me know what liberals not to support. Text, who is surprised that the Republicans have been guilty of voter suppression? It's what they do. They couldn't win any other way. 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text says, so Trump is going to read the Bible. Everyone stand back in case he spontaneously combusts, says the texter. Yeah, I haven't even got into that story today. Text says, I'm switching my party from independent to Republican just so I can vote against all incumbent Republicans. Well, once you make the switch or once you register, what you decide to do with your vote is up to you. And to quote the great Dave Weekly, and that's none of my business. 2:52, it's 8 minutes away from 3 o'clock. We will wrap it up after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Patients who have allergies and sinusitis, they have worse quality of life on many levels. At the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center, we provide all the most recent technology in office procedures to help patients who cannot breathe through their nose. Patients come in, within half an hour they can leave. Whatever problem with the sinus and allergy you're having, we can help you get the right treatment.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Welcome back to the show. It's 4 minutes away from 3 o'clock. Text says, if I register as a Republican, will I be allowed to lie all the time and not be held accountable anymore? Says the texter. He never lies, ladies and gentlemen. It's
only when it's more convenient.
It's Mr. Weekly.
Yeah.
So you told me you caught the fever, Weekly.
I started doing a little bit of work on the draft.
Okay. All right.
Because the draft starts Thursday.
Right. And it's in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh, although we're not sure exactly how many people are going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they think there'll be hundreds of thousands. I don't know. I'm kind of spitting a bit on that.
I think they're letting school out up there, aren't they? Isn't it a day off? I heard my buddy.
I know, but you don't have. The draft will not be filled with third and fourth graders. Okay. I'm coming in from Vegas, coming in hot.
You ask me if I was a draft person, and I'm an NFL junkie, but I will say not nearly as much as I used to be. Back when it was on Saturday afternoons at noon, I'm talking about probably the 90s, 2000s, I used to have draft parties, order some pizzas, get some beer, and bring a bunch of buddies over. But, well, number one, it's at 8 o'clock at night now, and I'm old, so I'm getting ready to go to bed at that point. I'll watch the first, couple picks, but the Cowboys have 2 picks, by the way. We have 2.
I'm good for Thursday, and I'm good for Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but by the time we get to like Saturday, I'm checked out on it. Pretty much.
Because I know you watch sports documentaries, and my hero growing up was Roger Staubach. I mean, he was my favorite Cowboy, number 12. Every kid of the 70s that were a Cowboy fan, you loved Roger. Even people that weren't necessarily Cowboy fans, a lot of them like Roger. And they had done a football life on him. And this was about 10 years old, but I had never seen it. And so I watched it over the weekend of Football Life and Roger Staubach. Do you know he was named Super Bowl MVP? And I think it was the Super Bowl that they beat the Dolphins, I think is 24-3. I think I could be wrong. But anyway, he was, at that time, they gave the Super Bowl MVP a new Dodge Charger. Well, Staubach, being Staubach, married with 5 kids, traded it for a station wagon. He asked if he could have a station wagon instead. Was there ever a more squeaky clean human ever than Roger Staubach?
Well, I think it'd be tough. It'd be tough.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be tough.
I mean, they played a clip of that famous interview with Phyllis George on NFL Today, when he said, well, you asked Joe Namath, the Bachelor, and they talked about sex. He said, I like sex too. He said, I just have it with one person. And they were talking to Staubach and his wife, and the
Right.
Staubach's kids, they played that clip for them. They're all, of course, in their 40s now, and they were like, oh, God, we don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to.
Now, see, I would have never told that story.
Okay.
That's a good story.
You mean if you were me or Staubach?
I would have been uncomfortable to tell that story on my show. But I like this story, and I've seen it.
Uh-huh.
And I
so
like.
you just took a shot at me, basically.
No. I admire your freedom. I admire the freedom of you to tell that story.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
My dad thought he was actually Don Meredith, I think.
Weekly coming up with the crew on Metro News Hotline at many of these same Metro News stations. I'll be back tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.